Welcome, Amazon sellers and soon to be Amazon sellers. It's Tim from ALGO Online Retail. So, we just finished up here at ASD Market Week in Las Vegas, and honestly, this was one of the most interesting ASD shows we've seen in years. We had over 100 ALGO members show up, and that's after dealing with TSA shutdowns, canceled flights, delays, the whole thing. So, first off, shout out to everyone who made it out. Now, a few things were very different about this event. First, ASD started on a Tuesday this time. Usually, it starts on a weekend. That's how it's been for about the last 10 years. This was the first time in a long time it didn't. And because of that, the event felt different and it was less crowded. Now, that could be because it was during the week, or maybe fewer experienced sellers showed up, or maybe sellers are starting to attend different conferences. But regardless of the reason, the environment changed. And here's the biggest thing we noticed: there were a lot fewer experienced sellers and a lot more newer sellers. Now, some experienced sellers will say ASD isn't worth it anymore. And I think that's completely wrong, because what they're missing is this: less competition in the room equals more opportunity for those who are in the room, and especially for new sellers. This was actually one of the best environments we've seen in years for newer sellers to connect with suppliers. Both weren't overwhelmed, suppliers had time, conversations were longer, and access was easier. That's a big deal. Now, here's the part that really stood out: suppliers were more open to Amazon sellers than we've seen in the past few years. And I'm not saying every supplier said yes right away, but what we saw over and over again was this: no didn't actually mean no. It just meant not yet. Let me give you a real example. One of our Algo members reached out to a supplier from the show a few weeks before ASD. No response, nothing. Then they walked up to the booth in person, had a quick conversation, and opened an account on the spot. Same supplier, same person, different approach. And once that story got shared with the group, everyone started realizing they had similar experiences. Suppliers who initially said no, or seemed hesitant, or had no Amazon seller's language opened up pretty quickly after a normal conversation. And for the tougher suppliers, the ones that didn't immediately open up, simple positioning changes worked really well. And for example, our Canadian members would ask, "Do you sell in Canada?" Our Latino members would ask, "Are you targeting Spanish-speaking customers in the US or Amazon Mexico?" Others would ask about Walmart instead of Amazon. And what that does is it shifts the conversation. Now you're not just another Amazon seller, you're a partner with a different angle. And a lot of suppliers basically confirmed this. They said something along the lines of, "Yeah, we say no to everyone at first until we figure out who's legit." That's a huge insight, because most new sellers hear no and they stop. But in reality, that no is just the beginning of the conversation. So for me, this was actually a really eye-opening show, because what we saw was fewer Amazon sellers in the room, more access to suppliers, and suppliers more open to working with new professional sellers than they've been in years. And this lines up exactly with what we've been saying for the past 6 or so months. Amazon is growing, there's more demand than ever, competition has shifted, and the environment right now is actually very favorable for new sellers who approach it the right way. So if you've been on the fence, if you've been thinking, did I miss it or is it too late? This should give you a lot of confidence, because from what we just saw firsthand, this might be one of the best windows to start selling on Amazon since pre-COVID. And if you want to learn how to sell on Amazon the right way, click below to register for a free live workshop I'm hosting this week. Bye for now.